Illegal drugs on licensed premises are not acceptable in any situation. If you suspect illegal drugs are taking place at the venue, police should be called and the people should be removed from the venue immediately.
Right, mate, how you doing, all right?
Yeah, good, how you doing?
Yeah, mate, buzzing, wicked atmosphere, innit? Proper vibes downstairs, DJ's playing some banging tunes.
You've got some powder on your nose, mate.
What?
You've got some white powder on your nose.
What's that?
Some white powder on your nose? You've been taking drugs?
No, mate, I've got a proper high-powered job in the city, mate. If anyone found out, I could get fired, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
God forbid if my girlfriend or my family found out.
Look,
mate,
mate,
you're a lifesaver, absolute lifesaver, yeah.
I'm gonna ask you to leave.
What?
I'm gonna have to ask you to leave.
Why?
You've got white powder on your nose, your eyes are bloodshot, you're very erratic.
Do it, babe. Everyone does it round here. What's the big deal?
Yeah, well look, we've got a zero tolerance with drugs in this place. So
mate.
either you leave,
Yeah?
or I'll call the police.
You'll call the police?
I will.
Oh, fine, mate. I'll leave then. Do you know why? Because it's rubbish here anyway.
Yeah, well you make your way downstairs.
Yeah, whatever.
Cheers.
As most people know, it's illegal to sell alcohol to anybody under the age of 18. You might have heard of Challenge 25. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean the person has to be 25. Essentially, what it's saying is if somebody looks younger than 25, the staff should challenge to make sure that they're over 18. If you fail to challenge, you may be serving to somebody under the age of 18, which could result in a £90 spot fine for the person who's done the serving. Plus, it could result in a much greater fine for the premises, as well as potentially putting the premises license at risk, so potentially risking everybody's job inside the premises. Also, what we need to understand is what can we accept as ID. So the first thing to remember is ID needs to be photographic. There's no good in me accepting somebody's birth certificate because there's no way I can possibly know who that person is. So photographic IDs that we'll accept would be anything from a driver's license, any country, doesn't matter, as long as you believe it's a genuine license. A passport, again, any country, doesn't matter. Or a proof of age standard scheme card or pass card, which has a pass hologram logo on it. Some venues are not overly happy about accepting those, and it is down to the premises itself as to which IDs they will accept and won't accept.
Hi.
Hello.
Can I get a beer, please?
Yeah, you can, but could I see some ID first?
Oh, I don't have it with me, but I'm 19.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm afraid without the ID I can't serve you.
Really? Oh, okay. Thank you. Have a good night. Damn.
Not all people who are under the age of 18 may look so obvious. This is why we have the Challenge 25 rule in place, just to make staff's lives a little bit easier when it comes to checking ID. Now, when we do check an ID, it is important that we actually physically check the ID. So things to look for would be checking their date of birth. However, they probably memorize the date of birth for the ID. What you could do is throw in a curveball question, asking them something like first line of the address, or possibly a postcode, or maybe their star sign. Any of these could help you determine whether this person is genuine or if perhaps this is not their ID. Not all fake IDs are actually fakes. Quite often there will be a brother, sister, cousin who they've borrowed their ID and they're using that to purchase. So don't look necessarily for something to be fake as such.
Hey.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm good, how you doing?
Good.
That's good.
Could I get a Colonel, please?
Yeah, of course you can. Can I see some ID?
Oh yeah, sure. 1 sec. There you go.
Perfect. Amanda Mensah. When were you born?
June 4th, 1989.
89, perfect. It says the 3rd of August 1995 on this
Yeah.
one.
Oh, I get that mixed up
Yeah?
all the time. Yeah.
I'm afraid I can't accept it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it looks very fake.
This is me.
Yeah, you didn't know what your birthday was.
Whatever. Like, I'm done. Whatever.
Also, what we need to focus on is if somebody refuses to leave. So if somebody refuses to leave a premises because they're acting in an inappropriate way. Now, this could be anything from not following the house rules, maybe insulting staff, becoming aggressive, a bit too rowdy, upsetting other members of the public. It's time for them to leave the premises. Now, obviously, initially what we want to do is we just want to ask them nicely to leave. In a perfect world, they would pack up their stuff and they would walk out the door at this point. Unfortunately, a lot of the time they may refuse to do this. Legally, we cannot allow them to stay on a licensed premises, so what we will need to do is possibly call security in, and security would then use reasonable and necessary force to remove the person from the premises.
Thanks very much.
Welcome.
Mate, what should we go in?
Sorry, man. I'm really sorry. No, sorry, man. It's actually.
Fellas. It was an accident.
No, that wasn't an accident.
I didn't do anything.
Come on, you got a problem?
Sorry. No, man. I'm sorry.
What? No, you need to calm down, mate. Don't tell me what to do. This is a public place. I'll do as I please.
Public place, but it's a private property.
Oh, do me a favour, mate. Come on, mate.
I'm really
You want
sorry.
some?
No, man, I don't.
Boy, listen, mate, I need you to calm down.
Stay out of this, mate.
Can you help me out
Listen,
here at all, man?
What's fine warning, mate?
Yeah?
I'd rather not, man.
Come on.
Do we
Come on, bruv.
We don't need to do that.
Listen, mate.
There's no need.
Mate, I'll do you as well, son.
Yeah, listen,
Come on.
you need to
Come
go.
on,
What? What are you doing, mate? What are you doing, mate? I'll see you outside, mate.
It's illegal to serve somebody on a licensed premises who is drunk. We cannot do this, it's against the law. So what we need to do is we need to look for subjective signs that somebody is drunk. These could be anything from how they're walking, how they're talking, are they able to keep their head up and make a conversation with you and keep eye contact. If they can't do this, you should always refuse the service. If you do refuse the service, remember to always depersonalize this. For example, saying it is against the law for me to serve somebody.
Hello, mate.
All right, mate.
Another beer, please, barman.
Another beer?
Yeah.
Yeah, so look, you look like you had enough for
I think
tonight.
you've had too much.
You had way too much fun tonight.
You have had way too much fun tonight.
I did, so much so that I'm not going to get a 90 quid fine.
You're not going to, neither am I. Can I have a beer, please?
I'm not going to lose my license.
I will not lose your license.
The venue's going to get fined, so I'll rather not.
Come on, one more beer, mate.
Nothing personal, mate, but it's not
One more beer.
going to happen, mate.
One beer.
Not going to happen. I'll get you a taxi. How about I get you a taxi?
What was that cocktail?
Customer test purchase. This happens when the local authority, normally in partnership with trading standards and the police, may send underage people into your premises to try and buy alcohol. When they do this, the person will come to the bar and ask for a drink. If that person is then served, you've broken the law. In order to catch you, what will normally happen is there will be some undercover officers in the area who are watching and witnessing the actual transaction take place, and you can then be fined £90 as the bar server. So in other words, whoever's behind the bar that makes the sale will be fined £90. The premises itself will also face further fines, plus the license of the premises is now put at risk as well.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Do you serve the Colonel here?
The Colonel, yes. I've got the Colonel. Here we go. £10.
Okay.
Thank you. Here's your seat. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Sorry, fella. I noticed you just served the young lady over there and you didn't ask for any ID.
I mean, she looks about 19, 20, yeah?
Bad news for you, my friend. Trading standards officers, this was a test purchase.
It's a £90 charge. You've got 21 days to contest it in the magistrate's court.
I'm sure she's 19, though.
Unfortunately, my friend, she's 17, she came with us. We're going to have to speak to your manager as well. Remember guys, if you follow all the rules and procedures, passing a test purchase should be no problem at all.
Hello.
Hi. Do you serve the Colonel here?
We do, but could I see some ID?
Oh, I don't have it with me.
No?
No.
I have to insist though. I need to see some ID. I can't serve you alcohol without seeing some ID.
Okay, so I'm actually 17 and this was a test purchase. And you
Ah,
passed.
I did.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'll be on my way.
Very good. Have a
Thank
good
you.
night.